We often picture spiritual awakening as an explosive event, a sudden, overnight strike of clarity that instantly transforms someone's reality. Because we expect this immediate bang, spiritual exploration becomes a spectator sport. We spend years sitting in audiences, reading books, and debating abstract concepts like heaven, hell, or where the soul is floating, waiting for a miracle to happen to us. Most of us start with ambitions as wide as the moon, but societal systems and the basic need for security often crush that potential before it can surface. We trade our largest possibilities for the safety of the neighborhood, letting the moon disappear while we focus on the immediate comforts in front of us. Nothing in the universe happens with a sudden bang. Evolving on this path is a relentless, continuous process. If we fail to recognize how that process actually works, we guarantee we'll never reach the possibility of awakening. Take the mango tree as a biological map for this hidden transformation. If you look at an orchard in November, you won't see any sweetness dripping out of it. During these winter months, the tree appears completely dormant. If you were to tear off a leaf and bite into it right now, you would only taste a harsh, sharp bitterness. But in April and May, huge drops of sweetness are suddenly hanging from the branches. For anyone walking by, it looks like a miracle that happened overnight. The tree did not magically synthesize those mangoes in a single month. It was continuously, mechanically manufacturing that sweetness right through the year, completely out of sight. That sweet fruit is the visible end stage of a year-long manufacturing timeline. We notice the result only at a certain time, but the tree has been working toward that specific sweetness every single day. This biological mechanism maps directly onto human psychological evolution. The inner work functions on exactly the same hidden timeline. To an outside observer, a person in the middle of their internal winter phase often looks erratic. Society might look at someone untangling their internal life and label them a vagabond or even a nutcase. History is filled with ascetic figures like Adi Shankara, who dedicated their entire existence to unearthing this inner nature. They understood that achieving clarity requires absolute, prolonged commitment, whether through strict discipline or total immersion in experience. Sadhguru defines the truth of this pursuit with a strict standard. Whatever you claim as spiritual truth must work on all levels of practical life. It cannot be something that only functions while your eyes are closed in meditation. This internal work involves the daily effort of untangling ourselves from the physical objects and social roles that suppress our potential. It is a process of identification, separating our core nature from the anxieties and fears that usually define us. That phase where a person is dismissed as a vagabond is actually their most active period. It is the critical stretch of unseen psychological manufacturing. To actively measure what is worth holding on to, we can apply an uncompromising analytical tool, projecting our minds to the end of our lives. Fast forward 100 years to your deathbed and measure the actual weight of the things you spend your life striving for. Take the luxury vehicles and the status symbols you park in your driveway. Look closely at the intricate diamond jewelry and the wealth you accumulate. On that final day, the value of these physical adornments drops to absolute zero. The goal here is not to violently reject the material world. You do not need to throw away your car or abandon your possessions to achieve clarity. The actual issue is an inversion of ownership. Most human beings do not know how to use the things they buy. Instead, they are completely consumed, enslaved, and used up by the objects and roles they believe they own. There is a distinct psychological difference between practically utilizing something and carrying it around in your heart. The solution is enforcing strict boundaries. You must recognize the exact, limited role of your education, your career, your wealth, and relationships. Recognizing where these things end pushes these external factors outward. They are no longer allowed to repress your core self. This structural detachment changes the mechanics of growth. When education and wealth no longer dictate your identity, they stop repressing your internal nature. In this state of non-interference, the spiritual process continues by its own momentum, much like the mango tree simply does what it was built to do. By simply maintaining this quiet, invisible discipline, the striving is already happening. And when the season is right, the sweetness will inevitably bloom